Well, what do you think?
I heard 3, 2, 1.
I heard it. It's Friday.
Yeah.
So Liz's, hey guys. A little bit lower in the range of voice and a different timbre than Liz normally is.
Yeah.
She and some of the crew are on a plane to Tucson, Arizona, also known as Tucson, Arizona, for a rock and gym show.
Yep, they're going to be gone for a while. They go every year.
Yeah. They were afraid the plane wasn't going to take off with all the snow that we got out on the ground.
But they made it.
They did. They did happen to make it. I heard they had snow and ice all the way down to Dallas.
Really?
Dallas, Fort Worth.
When we were in Texas, it actually snow flurried a night or two that we were there.
Yeah.
Down in South Texas.
Snowing in the desert.
Yeah, it was.
It does. It gets cold there at night.
Yeah.
Well, we've had people ask about this, kind of moving forward through things, if we would do the rifle scabbard. So we've been trying to go through the patterns that we have available for everything and doing a video on them. And then so when you go to purchase it, inside of the stuff that we have, you'll have either a QR code or the link to get on there to find this video series that we've done on them. So this one looks like it's a small group of patterns. It's only about 2 inches thick.
Yeah, there's actually 4 different patterns in there. It lists 3, but there are 4.
Okay.
Because there are 2 just plain rifle scabbards. One is for a bolt action rifle, which is a bit longer, and one's for a lever action. They call it a saddle gun. It's a shorter version of it.
Okay.
But
so it looks like we got listed on here. On there is the scoped rifle scabbard, shotgun case, and a standard rifle scabbard. And then you said the extra one is...
Yeah, the standard, there's an extra one in with the standard, which is just a shorter version.
Okay, so the standard has 2 in there. So let's look on the back. Materials that we need are listed on each kind of one of it, depending on which one you make. What leather weight are you using? It says 10 to 11 ounce on there. What you got?
I'm using saddle skirting.
Okay.
I've always built them out of saddle skirting because that's what I had in my saddle shop, you know.
Yeah.
And for a rifle scabbard, you want a lot of body to it because you're actually going for not only a little protection, but it needs to just hold its shape because you're going to be riding through the sticks and the brush and the rocks and the mud and everything. So you want something a little heavy.
Go big or go home, Denny says, whenever you're getting your veg tan thickness. Now, could you make this out of an oil tan, or are we going to, or is veg tan where you can?
That would be a good idea. Veg tan would be the best. Like with any pistol holster or a knife scabbard or something like this, you want a vegetable tan against the metal on your rifle.
Would it be different when you're putting the shearling on the inside of it? Would
yeah,
that help?
If you were going to line it with something that it wouldn't matter. But yeah, for a scabbard, I've never seen a scabbard out of anything other than a vegetable tan leather.
So
let me put it that way.
About 8 feet of leather?
Yeah, what I did, and I'm going to be a leather salesman right now.
Okay.
We've got some import saddle skirting out there, which is like a 13 to 15 ounce.
Okay.
And I believe it runs like $80 for a full side of it.
Okay.
And that's the best bargain I think we've got in the store. And I picked one out. This is a small side that I picked out.
Did it have a number on it? Can I read them a number?
No.
Okay. Well, I won't read it to them.
What is it? I'll go find it.
Import skirting.
Import saddle skirting, yes.
So I was just looking at this. It says for the scope rifle, we need 46 inches by 22 inches of veg tan, and then a latigo strap that's 72 inches long. For the standard rifle scabbard, 40 by 19 inches, and still a latigo. And then for the shotgun case, it says for the body, 54 inches by 18 inches of a 4 to 5 ounce oil tan.
Yeah, and that's going to be lined with a piece of shearling or whatever you can choose to line it with.
Okay.
But for this, we're just making I'm making 2 rifle scabbards.
Can I set this up there?
Sure.
All right.
Sure. And they're very simple. There's basically only 2 parts to them, and that's the scabbard itself, which is 1 full piece, and 2 straps.
Okay.
Everything else, there's a few minor parts there that I'll show you as we go through.
And your keepers and such, right?
Yeah, right.
She says 1985-01. Did he give you a price on that?
It says it is on retail $80.
$80. That's what you said. Retail for $80. 1985-01. Import side of saddle skirting.
Yeah.
There's a sale today.
Oh, there's a sale today on it?
All right. But this stuff, it's an import saddle skirting, and it's really good leather.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a few imperfections in it, so you kind of have to work around those. Like this one has a big brand here.
Yeah.
Piece of a brand. And if you turn it over, there's a few butcher cuts down towards the belly.
Yeah, another little kind of brand.
Yeah. But, for something like this, I don't mind a few imperfections. I think it gives it a little more of a rustic look. But let me set these aside and turn this over. That way I can show you. I've already marked out on the back.
You want me to help you flip it over? I don't know what you're doing.
Let me just trade in.
All right.
And I don't know if you can see this, but I already marked out
We'll see what that overhead camera sees.
approximately what I need to do.
May have to. Uh-oh, I got a ruler falling to the ground. Well, that's good.
Yeah, you can kind of see where I marked out around there. But that's just a...
Hold on. I'm not sure what this camera's trying to select up here. Hang on. I'm going to have to jump on my stool here and see what's happening. Let me switch to the front camera or some other camera so I don't have to get... All right. Not sure what is happening here. Keep going, Denny.
Okay. Well, all I'm going to do, I've got these roughed out. This is approximately where I'm going to cut both of these scabbards out of. So I'm just going to rough cut these with a knife. And then I'll turn it over and actually mark the pattern on it. And I've, the pattern pack has these patterns on white paper. I took and transferred them to just some heavy wrapping paper. You can use Bontex or whatever you want, or just use the paper that the
Hang on. We're having
comes with.
major camera malfunctions today. I don't know that somebody keeps on kicking this cord over here and it keeps on shutting this camera off.
Is that me?
Nope, you were on this side of the table. Now I'm hooked. Now I'm hooked by the table. Man, I'm glad it's Friday today. Not sure what is happening.
We'll persevere, Tony.
We're gonna have to, because it ain't going very well so far. Alright, looks like we got that camera back on again. Yep. Camera's shutting off all over the place. Can't see nothing on the other camera. What are you doing over there?
Well, I got a big piece of leather on a small table with a whole bunch of tools on it. And this is what I ended up with. A whole lot of remnants on this piece that I can use for some other project. So I'm going to set this over here out of the way. Now I've got two big pieces here. You can see this is the small for the lever action, and I think that's what I'm going to start with.
Alright, let me try to put this camera back up there. Come on.
While he's doing that, I'm just going to take this one piece of leather that I've cut out and I'm going to dunk it in a bucket of water and just case it a little bit so that I can slick it down.
Nothing special in your water, just
water,
wet?
water, clear water. Get it just a little bit wetter. I don't really want to saturate this because I'm going to be working on it today. If you get it too wet, you've got to let it dry out a bit. So I'm going to avoid that. Now I'm just going to take this slicker.
Now, when we use that slicker like that, are we just trying to rub out wrinkles, get the rest of the stretch out of it? What's the point of it?
Yes, both of those things. Rub out wrinkles, get stretch out of it. It closes the pores on the leather, gives it kind of a slicker look. And it actually compresses the leather and makes it a little more dense.
It's like I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
When you purchase those pattern packs, are there any tooling patterns that are included?
Yes, I think there's a tooling pattern for each of them. And we're not going to do any tooling on this that we're doing today.
Look there. There's a tooling pattern.
Yeah.
So there are some tooling patterns that are in there as well.
Yeah, when I made the pattern pack, I tooled every one of them. So there should be a pattern for each scabbard.
Yeah, probably when we redo this outside of this, we should put on there that tooling patterns are included.
When I slick this down, I put quite a bit of pressure on it.
Does Denny ever do a class for a scabbard or a holster? Denny and I did a single loop holster. There's a video series of it that we did.
Yeah, we did a video.
That was when we were still doing recorded videos. We might make another. We could probably do another holster, but class-wise, no. We just try to give you all the education we can in the videos as we can.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Skive. I don't know what Randy's question is. It says skive.
Yeah, there will be some skiving. I'll show you here in a little bit. If that's a question, are we going to skive anything? Yes. Okay. Now I've got to think here. We want the scabbard to fit on the right-hand side of the saddle. And most scabbards, if you watch the movies, people with those that are riding with the rifle have it right up in front of them. That's not the way you carry a rifle. That's for the movies.
Yeah.
Most of it goes under your leg, and the butt of the rifle is back behind you.
Yeah.
You know, that it's out of the horse's way. When you get off the saddle, you can grab the rifle. If you're hunting,
yeah,
you can grab the rifle as you come off the saddle, you know. And it's less cumbersome that way. So if I fold this way.
Now you just cut when you cut it out. You just cut rough.
Yes, I rough cut it. I'm getting ready to lay the pattern on, but I wanted to make sure I had it right.
So when you drew it on the back, you were just getting it so you can get to some more manageable pieces?
Yeah, I was just doing a ballpark piece that I had a piece that was big enough to cut this pattern out of.
I was going to ask you if you had a dead weight or if you wanted to use my hand.
That's a dead weight.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm going to use a pencil to draw this out.
You're too wiggly and dead weight isn't.
Oh, yeah. It just sits still.
And when I drew this pattern, I actually added a little bit to the back side of this.
Okay.
Because when I fold them together, I want a little bit of extra that I can trim off after I've got everything finished. You'll see what I mean when I... So
is your pattern a little bit bigger? Together. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. This is the finish side, the part that'll be showing.
Oh, okay.
And this will be the underside against the horse.
Okay.
And it's, you know, when you draw something like this, you want to pick out to use the leather to your best advantage, I guess I should say. You know, the part that's not going to show can have a few imperfections on it. Or if it does have some imperfections, that's the place to put them.
TJ says, never seen Denny use a razor blade to cut. Usually the head knife. That was just because we were rough cutting. We got the head knife in here, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting ready to use it here.
Frank, the leather that we are using, the pattern calls for 10 to 11 ounce, but we are using saddle skirting for this.
And I believe that's what I did when I made the patterns. I don't know why she changed it, but she did. Because I've always used saddle skirting for a saddle scabbard. All right, I marked our 2 loopholes here, and those are kind of confusing to you right now, but you will see what they're all about later. All right, I've got my pattern drawn on here. Now I'm going to cut it. And to let your mind rest easy, I'm going to use a head knife.
Keep your fingers back. Denny's done this a time or two, so. That stuff cuts pretty smooth, even being
Cuts
wet
very
like that.
smooth. When you wet a piece of leather, it always helps the cutting process a little bit. It softens the leather some.
And you're cutting this all in one fell swoop, right? You're cut all the way through the leather here, so you are using a little drag from the cutting board.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to be, when you use a round knife or a head knife, you want to cut into your cutting surface. If you don't, your knife will have a tendency to plane out on top of the leather and cut your fingers off and make you bleed and
Yeah.
cry.
Nobody likes bleeding.
Yeah.
It just dawned on me, the last time I was here, I asked Denny if he would make a scabbard, so thank you, sir. Well, TJ, you and a few other people had suggested the scabbard, and we put it on the schedule. And Randy says, why are you using the import skirting?
Because it's cheaper, and I'm showing you guys you can make a nice product out of a piece of leather that you don't have to spend $250 on a side of leather to build one of these.
Plus, some of the Herman oak that we have, we're sending out just as fast as we can get it in so that we can fill orders and not make all you mad. We save the Herman oak to send to you. So,
Yeah, but
two birds, one stone. This stuff is still good stuff. We're not going to be tooling on it. You can still tool and carve on it.
This will tool. I can feel the fact that it'll tool. I'm not going to do it just simply because of time constraints. Okay, I'm going to use a knife again, but don't get concerned. Just right here in these corners, a lot of times you just got to finish that cut.
Nice, Josh. Glad that we could give you a video to entertain you during your lunchtime and while you build one later. Is there any chance that cutting leather wet damp that it will shrink once it dries?
It won't shrink. What you've got to be careful of is that you don't stretch it while you cut it. If you'll notice, I'm not
pulling as hard as you can.
If I'm going to pull on something, I'm pulling on the piece that I cut off, which I'm going to do right now.
Yeah, you can see that backhand that you have there holding on to that cut piece. That's also why we use that slicker, is to try to get some of that stretch out before we drew our pattern on, before we started getting our cutting done. So we can try to get all the stretch out we can.
Right. And most people think, they feel like leather might be like what they always hear about rawhide, where they'll tie you to a stake over an anthill with rawhide and it shrinks and pull your arms out of socket.
Does that really do anything, tying you over an anthill? Because I feel like they just go about their business.
They do.
Oh, okay. I guess that's so you have some entertainment so you can watch the ants work or something? Yeah. I'm going to tie you up on a stake over this anthill just so you can watch them so you don't get bored while you're tied to a stake. If you missed part of the conversation there, Holly, that's why you're confused at the moment.
About the ants.
I wonder if they're watching this live out there on the retail floor.
Yeah, I saw it.
It was on out there?
It was loading.
Oh, I wonder if it loaded. If I buy a head knife from SLC, will Denny sharpen it for me?
Yes, I will.
If you wait just a little bit, we'll have those black Damascus styled.
Like these? No.
We're getting them in. I don't know when they'll be here, but we will try to get it.
Okay, and if you'll notice on the pattern, these loops are drawn out. I'm just going to cut them on this finished side, because the other side might differ once I get things glued together.
Will you jump overhead here? I can't give you a number on the knife yet because we don't have them.
And this is a 3/4 inch slot, because I'm going to use 3/4 inch straps. Okay.
I know you feel like you're over there, but I'm going to get you under the camera.
Oh, all right. Okay, this whole pattern is cut out. That's all there is to this pattern. Now,
still got a good moisture content in there.
Yeah, but I'm going to mess around with it a little bit here before I stitch it. And ordinarily, I would let it dry completely before I stitched it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in a video here. And
We
you guys aren't going to watch this till tomorrow. So.
We didn't cooking show this one, so maybe we can put a hair dryer on it and just try to dry some of it by hand.
Okay.
What's the problems with stitching wet leather?
Well, you'll mark the leather. You'll be able to see
Got your footprint in there?
Your pressure foot print. Okay. Now then, if you will notice, when I close this up, no matter how hard I try, there's always going to be a little void right here at the end.
Yeah, I know that problem.
So what I'm going to do, this is the piece that I cut off the end. I'm going to make a small welt. And I'm going to make it about like that. And I'm going to make it a little wider than that. And this is just to take up some room right there in that corner.
Now you're going to do it on the back side too?
No.
Okay.
I'm just doing this.
Frank asked, sorry, go ahead.
Now I'm going to skive. You were real concerned that I wasn't going to skive, but I'm going to skive a little bit.
What kind of skiving are you going to use your head knife to skive?
Yes. No, I'm not. I've got a brand new tool that I haven't used yet, and I'm going to try this.
You only mess it up once.
I've got this wonderful little left-handed skiving knife.
Yeah, hold on. Let me switch this camera just a little bit so I can see you. Where'd this knife come from?
This knife came from Texas, and I forget the town in Texas that it came from.
Yeah, don't ask me that part. I have a card right here. I'll show this.
Yeah.
I'll show this card off. So if Hicks is on the Twitch stream today, all right, go ahead. So this is Hicks Custom Knives in Texas, and I don't have the town that it's from.
I'll tell you this, it cuts very nice.
And this is a left-handed one I got special for you. He had it made, and I said, oh, that'll be perfect for Denny.
This is left-handed. All right. And let me see if I can figure out how to get this where you can see what I've done. There we go. But see, it's full thickness here, and it just comes down to a feather edge down here. And this goes into the end of this rifle scabbard like this, which I will trim off after everything's cemented together. And that will fill this void. It's right here in the end. Let me see if I can get this where you can see it now.
Point at this camera over here. There you are.
But see, now you don't have this void, and it's thick right here, but it tapers down to nothing. When everything's trimmed off and the edge is finished, you will not realize that this is here even. Okay, let me...
Oh, I lost my... There we go. So if you want to get a hold of a custom knife from Hicks Custom Knife, HCKSTexas.com.
Yeah. And this is a beautiful knife. I mean, it took an edge. It was sharp when I got it, but I took it to a buffing wheel and buffed it all up, and man, it is sharp, and the handle is just gorgeous.
Green maple, I believe, is what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. I forget exactly. Okay, I'm going to put this over here out of the way.
What grit of stone do you use to sharpen your head knife?
Okay, in all honesty, I have never sharpened a head knife on a stone.
Never sharpened a head knife on a stone?
I'm not saying you should never do that. I'm saying I've never done that. But if you're going to, use extra fine grit stone.
I mean, you've made it this pretty far in your leather career without sharpening one on a stone.
Yeah, well, I was always taught to use a wheel. And I mean, I was taught by an old school saddle maker, and he used a wheel.
Yeah.
Because he had one.
Yeah.
You know, 100 years ago, they didn't have grinding grinding wheels and buffing machines, but
or you had to pedal them or something like that.
But they do now. So,
Denny, is that for a coach gun?
it is for. This is going to fit like a Winchester or a Marlin lever action rifle, like this. They call them a saddle gun because they're short. You know, and easy to maneuver on a saddle,
or like a coach, a stagecoach.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess that's what he was talking about. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Not a coach like the brand of purse.
Right. Okay, let me see here. Let me get an edge beveler out.
Could you use the corner to put a D-ring, or would that be a bad spot to put a D-ring? Where we made the welt, I assume.
Oh, you could. I wouldn't know why you'd want a D-ring, but you could. You do anything you want to do, you guys.
Yeah.
You know, I mean...
This is the way that Denny's doing it.
Yeah. Okay. I've got that.
Oh. Hold on. Just go back to camera 2 there, Nick. All right.
Okay, I've got that cut. Now I'm gonna rough up this slick edge a little bit.
You just got your rougher.
Put some cement on it.
3. You just stay there. Just stay on 3.
I'm also going to mark where I'm going to stop this stitch line.
You going to mark your...
Yeah, I'm going to stop this stitch line about here. The reason I'm marking that is because I want to know where to stop my glue when I cement this.
So,
I'm about 3.5 inches or so, 3 inches from that corner.
And you just...
And that's, that's a matter of choice. If you want to close it up a little more, you can. If you want to leave it open a little further, you can.
Is this your zipper?
No.
I mean...
that will be...
I mean, not your zipper, but you're stitching this way.
Yes.
And we're going to leave this part open to the slot that we want to slide our gun in.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm with you.
And on the pattern, it's all marked. But I don't, I made that pattern, but if I was making another one, it'd probably be different. So, you guys keep that in mind.
Denny's eyeball measurement.
Yeah.
What type of wheel do we use?
Use a hard cloth wheel. That's what I use, and you could, if you really wanted to get technical, get 2 wheels. Put emery cake on one side, which is a little more aggressive than the Jeweler's Rouge, and then put the Jeweler's Rouge on the other side, and then you can actually cut a little metal with that emery cake. It'll actually. It'll remove rust and it'll actually, you can actually take a little metal off.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got a big nick in your blade or something, it's not going to get rid of that.
Right.
But you can sharpen wood.
Yeah, try not to throw them on the ground. It's hard on them.
That's right. That's right. Okay, now I'm going to just glue this whole edge. I'm not going to be real careful, but I'm going to glue about a 1/2 inch inside here. And I'm going to stop at that mark that I just made. That's why I made the mark, you guys. So I know where to stop.
You pinched it together so it's going to mirror each other on both sides.
Right. Well, close.
Close enough.
Yes.
Travis, of all trades, what would be your top trade though, Travis? Just bought the pattern, can't wait to start when my current project is done. Thanks, Denny. And then he said you're a legend. Not a myth though yet. Still just a legend.
Oh no, I'm a myth, all right.
The man, not the myth yet. You're still here.
He's not a myth, he's just a mystery.
Oh, a mystery.
A mystery.
The mystery man,
there you
Denny.
Go. I'll take that.
The old man of mystery.
And we're gonna. I think I'll probably have this done in plenty of time today, and I'll start cutting out the other one, the one with the scope, because it's a little more involved. You guys will all hate me for that pattern. But still.
Has anybody ever hated you, Denny?
Oh, yeah, you do, don't you?
Only on the weekends. Greg says, where do we get emery cake?
Most of your hardware stores, you can go to a hardware store and where they have grinding and polishing supplies, they generally sell a little package with 4 or 5 different cakes of stuff. You know, they'll have your red Jeweler's Rouge and maybe white and green and brown and black or gray. The gray is the emery cake.
Mm.
You know, if you go to a place that sells just specifically grinding supplies, I'm sure you can just buy a cake of emery. But other than that, you'll probably have to buy the whole little kit. But it lasts for a long, long time.
Yep. It's not a cake that I would eat in one bite, though.
No, it's...
Probably shouldn't even eat it in 2 bites.
Yeah. Okay.
I eat Sara Lee's cakes, not Emery's. Oh, that's the answer they gave him on the chat.
Yeah.
Get Emery's cake from Sara Lee. Dean, I tried to talk Denny into getting a zipper in this for you, but you heard him. He said, nope, no zipper, just a stitch line.
No zipper. Dean, if you want to put a zipper in it, get this.
Shotgun case.
Yeah, get the shotgun case pattern and do it. Then you will hate me. I guarantee it.
That shotgun case is fun.
Shotgun case is pretty involved, yes.
Little bit of... Turn it down just a little bit if you don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it'll just be a second here.
We got Will asking, is your contact cement, is it thinned down? Or is it just straight out of the bucket?
I probably put some thinner in this.
Yeah.
Because I very seldom change what's in my deal. I'll add more to it. If it's a little thick, I'll put a little thinner in with it.
Is there a certain consistency you like it to be at? Like pancake batter?
I don't like it to just drip off my brush.
Yeah,
but I like it. I like to be able to wipe it off my.
Like drywall mud?
Yeah,
thickness?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe a little thinner than that.
Yeah.
You don't
depend on if you're doing seams or if you're filling cracks.
That's right. All right. Now, you see this end where I put that little welt in? I'm still going to trim some of this off.
Trim it off, and then we'll sand it, and then when we go to finish that edge, we'll be looking good.
Yeah. I need to trim a little of this off right now.
Doing it right in that poundo board, huh?
Yeah, because I didn't have the thing up here.
Did you notice that dye that you dumped all over the tables kind of disappeared?
It has.
There's a little bit right there, but for the majority.
See, I didn't do such a bad job. Okay. Now then, you all don't have to put a groove stitch line in.
I just want to show you this part right here where we've left this extra where we'll trim it off afterwards.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till after I've stitched.
That way you got your seam all the way smashed down, and then you can make sure your edges are good. So you get a good setting yourself up for a good edge.
Yeah.
Is making sure that your edges are together and trimmed equally.
That's right. And a lot of times, a lot of people will actually trim their edge before they stitch. And I will have to admit that I do that sometimes, but I would rather wait till afterwards, because even though you've cemented it together, a lot of times your edges will move a little bit when you stitch, and you don't have a nice smooth edge anymore. So.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll let you put your stitching groove on there. Maybe the overhead camera there, Nick. So we put a little mark here where we're going to stop on this side of it, which matches where we did our gluing to on the other side.
And I'm going to do probably a 3/16 inch stitch groove on here, because I don't want to be too close to the edge. I want to be able to put a nice thick bevel on it. So I'm going to start up here at this end.
Let's see, can we come this way just a little bit?
Yeah, but I'm going to have to turn it.
That's okay.
Okay, now can I come this way?
I don't know.
Is that okay like that?
Yep, you'll get out from behind
See
that.
what I'm doing?
Yeah. Doing a great job. Now you can polish this tool as well.
Oh yes, I keep it polished.
Michael says, "Is the Jeweler Rouge that we want to polish our tools? Is that the white one?"
White or red, either one works well.
We sell it here. Just type in Jeweler's Rouge on the website.
The white is a bit. It's not quite as coarse as the red. They say the red is the finest, but I believe the white probably is a little finer.
So are you going to do a double stitch line on this?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna stitch around these slots here. But I'm gonna start at this end. I'm gonna start right there. I'm just gonna bring that around like that.
So just kind of freehand that first part of it.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop right there. Start again about right there.
Very nice.
Okay, now close this back up to about what I had there.
Oh, I see.
Now
Freehand
I'm
those.
going to open this up and
Freehand those little lines. Little fear: use paint thinner or special glue thinner. If you are using barge cement, you need to use barge thinner. If you're using Masters glue cement, then you need to use Masters thinner.
Yeah, and that's sure what the manufacturer will tell you. Can't say I've always done that.
It's the best practice.
Yeah.
Can this case be made with just a handle instead of the loops?
Just a handle. Sure.
Sure. Just make you a handle that goes around that part, and then make you a handle that goes right there. Guys, can we get a call out of the type of thickness of leather again? We sure can.
This is a 13 to 15 ounce saddle skirt.
We're using a saddle skirting, but the pattern itself calls for 10 to 11. So anything that's 10 to 11 or stronger would be where we're at.
Yeah, 10 to 11 is the heaviest tooling leather that we carry.
Yeah.
So that's what you can use. You can use lighter weight if you want to, you guys, but if you really want something with a lot of body to it, which to me, that's what a rifle scabbard should have, is a whole lot of body. Use a heavier leather.
Tim has asked the famous question: what brand of glue are you using?
What is it?
It's Van Grip.
Van Grip. Van Grip, Masters.
Van Grip, Masters, Barge, all really the same thing.
Yeah.
Just a different name, different.
I will say this. A lot of people say they'll use something from a hardware store like Weldwood or something like that. And I'm not going to say they don't work. I'm going to say that the leather, the ones that are created just for leather, definitely work better.
Yeah.
I have used those others, and eventually you'll have a separation. You know.
We use Van Grip in the shop, so that's what we have here in most of our glue things, because we had a cobbler that worked in the shop, and that's what he used when he was cobbling shoes.
Yeah.
So that's what we got, and we've never.
Yeah. Basically, Van Grip and Masters are the same thing.
Yeah.
If you smell them, you will smell the same thing. You
Yeah.
know, so basically, the ingredients are the same.
If you sniff them for long enough, you probably won't be smelling anything anymore.
If you sniff them for long enough, you won't.
Or you won't care
the
what
rest of the day.
You won't care what you're sniffing.
Yeah, you'll forget why you were sniffing it.
What was that leather project I'm doing?
Okay, I'm going to take this over and stitch this.
So we got a class 3 Cobra because we were stitching through skirting that's doubled over with a welt down here. This is where the 26 is not going to be able to do something quite this thick as efficient.
Right. Right.
Can you do it with it? Possibly.
Probably.
Yeah.
But you need to be very careful. You need to use a heavy needle and a 207 thread. And that's what I've got in this machine.
207?
Yeah, you can use a 277, which is probably what I would have used, but this machine was already set up with 207, so that's what I'm going to use.
So we got natural thread in there, 207 on the top and 207 on the bottom?
No, I've got 138 on the bottom.
And there's the key. If you either use the same thickness on top and bobbin or step down one on the bobbin.
Yeah, you will get your machine has less of a problem when you use a smaller weight on the bottom.
Yeah.
Because when your needle goes down, you actually have 2 pieces of thread going through the hole. When it comes back up, you've got 3 pieces of thread. So if it comes back up with a lighter weight thread, it has an easier time because you've only punched that one size hole.
Mm-hmm.
But
do you need a stool over there? That machine's set up to sew like at your feet.
Yeah, I probably will take a stool.
Sometimes my rouge block seems very dense and difficult to apply to a strop. Do you have a recommended way to do that other than rubbing the devil out of it?
No, just scrub it on there.
If you make grunting noises or anything like that, then at least it sounds like you're working hard.
You don't need a whole lot of that stuff on there.
I know, but sometimes I got to sound like I'm working hard.
Okay. All right. I may need to change the angle of this just a bit.
Okay. You do what you need to do there, and I will reset our camera. Okay. That's where you need to be. I'm good for you.
Okay. I'm going to try it right here.
I think I'm good.
I'm going to keep this off here so that'll be in my way. And I'm not going to use an edge guide.
We got stitching lines to help you a little bit along there.
Yeah.
Now, since our leather is still wet, we may still get a foot mark on there.
Sure.
Did you want to try to? You want to try to hair dryer it some?
Nah.
Or? All right.
Nah, let you go.
Go for broke.
Right here.
You can move this table out of the way.
Yeah, move it back just a bit.
All right, you're good.
It doesn't matter which of these lines you stitch first.
Just stay on the railroad path you made.
Yeah.
Class 3 and Class 4 are the same machine except for the throat length. So this would be, in a sense, doing it on a Class 4 right now.
Same thing.
You can turn me off there. You're good, Nick. I don't need to be on. They don't need to see me. That's a pretty good looking shot right there.
Can you see it?
Sure. It's in focus. It looks real cool. The machine's stitching well.
I might be running into this.
Oh, this light?
Yeah, the light here.
All right, well, that won't be a problem. Maybe I have solved it.
Feels good to me.
All right.
It's all right with you.
That's cool. Michael, we'll get to your question whenever we get done stitching this up here.
I love the way this Class 3 is struck along.
It's not, I mean, it's not even batting an eye.
And we're getting ready to go through 3 pieces of this 13 to 15 ounce leather.
Tying good knots. Getting ready to get to the fixed spot of the welt. Let's see what it does through there. And feathering it out like you did, Denny, gives it a nice path to run up and not just go over a big hump.
It doesn't have to jump.
You can see it's a little bit wetter on this backside here because we are getting some track marks a little more there. But we're just going to call them character marks and go with that.
Well, I bet when I... okay, I'm going to have to stop here and start over. I bet when I bevel the edge and put a finish on it, you won't see hardly any of those.
Now, how come you had to start there? Too much to swing around?
Because, yeah, I can't get it back through like this.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to go back up to the top and start from that same place. But I am going to backstitch this one, Tony.
Okay. I didn't know if you were going to start where you're at and then just swing your end around.
I would have, if I would have had one of those big, deep-throated machines.
Yeah, that the class 425 or 427 or whatever, that's got that big old 25-inch throat on it. Stitch an igloo up with it. Kim, we are using the class 3 here, which is the same thing as the class 4, just a different throat length. I think the class 3 has a 9-inch throat, and the class 4 has a 16-inch throat. But don't quote me on that, because I'm not looking at the leather machine guide that we have. Looks like the last time they sewed on this machine, they were sewing belts. They sew those belts, they just have them cranked to the max. Randy said he loves his class 4.
Who wouldn't?
They change your life. You have been hand stitching heavy material.
Yeah, if you've been hand stitching heavy stuff, that a machine will definitely speed up your process. You'll make your money back from it if you're doing leather work, full time or as a hobby and wanting to see yourself doing it as a full-time adventure.
Or if you've ever had a machine that you had to tinker with. And
yeah, a machine you had to tinker with.
Your mouth just right and all kinds of stuff like that. So you get one of these. These are user-friendly machines. There we go.
Chug-a-lugging along. Last couple here. You guys resell machines. Every now and then we may get in somebody's machine, but we don't make a practice of being the used car lot of machines. We want people to be happy with what they have and use them.
A lot of times people will buy a machine and take it home.
Oh, sorry, I have to move that table.
And 6 months later they'll come back and say, hey, I'm not doing what I was doing anymore. And I have bought this brand new machine from you and I've used it for 2 hours. And Rusty will say, okay, we'll buy it back from you.
Yeah.
And he'll buy a machine back, and then we will have a used machine for sale.
That's about the only time we do it. We don't advertise that we do it, and I usually just sit here in the shop, don't really make any social posts about that we have used machines.
And the deal is, if we have a used machine, it's generally here for a day.
It is.
Because someone's going to...
Or if we need to upgrade a machine in our production area.
Right.
Sometimes some of the employees that use the machine, you're going to cut those loose there. We'll have an employee that uses their machine and say, can I buy my machine? So sometimes we sell it to them. I got a lighter here if that's what you're looking for.
Yes, it is.
And then he has sold people the machines. Sorry, one didn't get cut all,
right.
pulled all the way back through.
That's all right.
Come over here and work closer to me. There you are. Oh, not that close.
I didn't want to be that close to you.
I just want you working in the middle of the table.
I'm just all over the place, Tony.
I think that overhead camera's in the middle. Why are you
All right.
trying to work all the way down there? Uh-oh. Now trim time.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can see with this.
And one thing that I should have done was to bevel the edge the top of this before I ever started, but I did not.
Bevel what edge?
This edge right
Oh, yeah. Laying flat. It's going to be hard around that curve now.
here. Maybe we'll still get it done.
You're skilled. So, I believe as Michael had a question before we were getting ready to go. When you're using a heavier thread or you got a heavier leather, do you change your stitch length or you just still kind of like what you like for stitch length?
I like a fairly close stitch length.
Me too.
For the most part, you shouldn't have to change the length on it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going from a size 69 thread to a size 346, you will probably need to change.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like if I went from this 207 to a 277, you wouldn't notice a difference.
Okay. What can I do to stop the white thread from getting discolored to almost a light brown?
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
And you can't.
In a machine though.
Actually, a nylon or a poly thread shouldn't take much of a stain. So.
Look at Frank out there. He says, "Hey, help these guys out. Give them a thumbs up, like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications."
All right. Now, look at our end there. No gap whatsoever.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, Tony,
Yes, sir.
if I went out to the sander and sanded this edge right quick,
Yeah.
would you talk to these folks and keep them busy?
I'll try to answer questions as best
All
as
right.
I can. There was a question that was up there, but it disappeared. I don't know where it went.
Do we sell big cutting boards?
Well, there was another question before that. That class 3 has a clicking noise to it, and she was saying that her class 26, I think it was, my 26 is nearly silent.
Every machine is different. Every car you get is going to be different and sound different.
This one's been running the shop, and like I said, it used to run belts all the time, flat out. I mean, pedals smashed to the floor.
If your machine is running one way and all of a sudden starts making another noise,
And something
you've
has happened.
probably got problems.
Right, and something's happened. It's doing something different. It's making a big noise. Do we sell that big cutting board material? We have some bigger pieces of it, I think.
2x4, I think.
That's what I think. The 2x4 is maybe even what we have here. That's 2 by 30 inches. We use 207, Denny used 207 on the top, and then 138 on the bobbin. That's what we use there. If you guys, what did we line it with? We lined it with love. That was it. We just used saddle skirting and didn't line it with nothing. Folded it over, put a stitch in it. Now we're going to go sand that down. Then we'll come back in here. And after we get it sanded, you'll have some of those fuzzies on your edge, and so then we'll use our edge beveler and take care of those. Let's see. Do you still have the pattern for the jockey pocket that we featured in December? Barbara, that should still be on the YouTube video, and the link should still work. Chad was working on the lampshade yesterday to get it on there. It's going to have to be 2 pieces of 11 by 17 paper because they didn't fit on one piece of paper that way. And then the one part of the big part of this didn't fit on an 8.5 by 11. What presser foot is on that machine? I need a catalog. A big fat one. Well, let's see. Okay, I already answered that one. Let's turn. Or if I had a machine guide, that'd be helpful too. Maybe Denny knows the name of it. Denny, do you know what name of that foot that you got on that machine?
No. I believe it's a left foot.
Yeah, but it's just a little bit wider than the normal foot.
No, I don't. Actually.
I don't see it in the catalog either.
That's something we probably have to ask Jim about.
I have feet, but that's...
I don't know.
Well, if anybody's got the answers out there, they can share.
Okay.
What would be too thin for a class 3?
Nothing. They say you can sew anything. You can sew down to a size 69 thread on a class 3.
You can?
But, you know,
It's just...
everything has its limitations as far as how good a job it does.
There's no one machine that's going to do it all. Can the 3 do wallet interiors? It can. It can, but it's not going to do as good a job as a 20 or a 26 is going to do.
Class 3 is a heavy stitcher.
Can a class 26 do this rifle scabbard? It might be able to, but it's going to be rough on it. You're going to have to change some settings to get to it.
Yeah, you can stitch a 207 thread on a
Yep.
class 26. And to tell you the truth, it would probably do it until you get down to this welt at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Then it would start having some problems.
Yeah.
All right, I used a size 2 fork edger. I don't remember exactly what we call those down here on this end. But now where I'm doubled, I'm going to a size 3.
Yeah, you may go to 3 there, Nick. Do you sell the acrylic templates for Liz's basket? We have been.
Yeah, they're a special order deal, aren't they?
They are a special order. You can only get them if you email the one person that we said to email in that video.
And
I'm not sure that he wants me to share it again because it's been clogging up his emails. Oh, sorry, Denny.
That's all right.
Chad at SpringfieldLeather.com, and we'll get you set up. We got quite a few in there, so it's taken a while to get through them. It's a pretty good run on the laser.
All right.
Do the silver pins stay thawed? Want to order some, but it's definitely cold enough that they'll freeze. They might freeze, but I don't think the ink has an issue whenever it freezes and then thaws again.
Probably not. I'd hate to guarantee someone something like
Yeah,
that.
just put on on your customer note there that it's going to a cold area. Please put a warm pack in it on that Angela, and then we'll get you fixed up.
All right. Notice the end of that? See how nice that came out?
Once we get to going, did you bring gum trag in here? We're gonna do it with token.
No,
Are
I'm
you gonna do it with
water?
Water and glycerin?
That's me, buddy.
All right.
Now I'm just going to use plain water and a little bit of glycerin saddle soap to do
This-
the edge with.
Piece of canvas here has been well used, and it's just worked up into a good spot now, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it. Okay, and I'm just using water here, and I'm getting this edge wet.
Yeah, let me see if I can adjust the camera here. I can't really see what you're doing.
I'll do it one more time so they can see it. But I'm just using this sponge right on the edge. I'm not wetting the whole thing. Then I'm taking just a block of this
Glycerin saddle soap.
saddle soap and rubbing it on.
Those grooves that you got in there, do they just develop over time, or did you cut a groove in it?
No, they just, for me rubbing, they'll take the. This stuff is soft. It's like a bar of soap.
Well, it is a bar of soap.
It is. Yeah.
It is a bar of soap.
Yeah. But it'll just take that shape when you rub it over there. But now I've got this canvas, and I've also rubbed this glycerin saddle soap on this piece of canvas.
Okay.
You can
I
feel
can
how
feel
tacky it feels.
There's a reason Denny was using tapered maul and not his Ed LeBar, because this maul was for whacking and not for tooling.
Yeah, that's just a heavier maul.
No, we don't charge for the warm packs. I guess unless you want a lot of them so you can keep your feet warm at home, then we might.
When we were gone, every time we went into a Walmart or something, it had those hand warmers and feet warmers, you know. I imagine those heat packs would work for that.
Raven's Hammer. I still don't have a catalog. Can I get one, please? If you guys have put in for a catalog and you haven't received it yet and you put an order in with us, Chad, is the number 144-2022 for the catalog on the website? Well, I mean, you're sitting at a computer. I don't know if you can type it in. I don't have my phone over here.
Yes.
144-2022. 2021. Oh, you're right, because it's technically the 2021 catalog.
21, 22,
Yeah, 21, 22. So 144-2021, and then just add. They're free. Just add a catalog to an order that you have, or if you go on the website and you see that the sliding banner underneath that, there's a SLC supply guide on there. If you click it, at the very top of that, it says order a hard copy, and then when you order that hard copy, then you will be put on the list, and they have been sending them out. If you guys have any difficulties with them, just send us a message, and we'll see if we can't get you one sent out from here. If you haven't got it yet, or pages were missing, or you colored all over one and you want another one to color all over, we'll send you another one. Does SLC have a tooling pattern service for patterns that SLC sells but have an untooled portion of the pattern? That seems pretty specific.
No, not really.
We have belt blanks that you can get embossed, and they'll have blank spots that you can put a name on. But as far as patterns that have blank where you can add stuff in, not really. That would be where the carve rights could come into play that you have, where you can take elements on that carve right and create your own design with elements that you have made.
Right. The thing about tooling patterns, when we have a tooling pattern, it's because me or someone else has taken the time to do the artwork on it, and that's pretty time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing that you just sit down in 10 minutes and say, I'll draw you a pattern for that.
Right, and you could draw a tooling pattern, I guess, for this and leave a blank spot in this area.
Sure.
You could, but what if you that got it wanted your blank spot to be up there? Now the pattern's not useful for you.
Yeah. You either, if you've got something that you want to put in the middle of a pattern, the thing to do is put that on there and then trace your pattern around that.
Look at that edge we put on there. Nice job. By we, I mean Denny. I was mostly just gabbing
but
on.
you were definitely moral support. Or immoral support.
Immoral support. Now you're just going to take your punch again and...
Right, I'm just punching out the other side of the slot.
See, I paused there so I didn't talk during your hammering. If it's a mallet, is it called malleting instead of hammering?
Well, I guess. I'm mauling this.
Oh, mauling. That's what bears do to people. Maul them. Man, you're making all your tools jump on this table.
Well, because I don't have a piece of granite underneath it.
That is true. Dustin, I'm having trouble with my edges looking bad after time. Using glycerin and water, are there any tricks to keep its slickness over time?
Every once in a while, go over it with some paste saddle soap and put some. I use like Master's Quick Shine over the top of that. But anything you do, eventually it's going to rough it back up.
It's going to wear again, just like your skin. You're sloughing. And then Michael's question: does it have to be a specific brand of canvas used for burnishing? Levi's jeans will work.
Yeah,
doesn't even have to be Levi's. It can be whatever
doesn't even have
jeans.
to be canvas.
Doesn't have to be canvas.
I've seen people use
Burlap
a piece of this wrapping paper.
I've seen people use a Walmart sack.
Yeah.
Anything that you can create friction with.
That's the key. Okay. Now the moment of truth has come. Let's see that little rifle.
All right. Do you sell the cutting board? Sorry if that was asked. Chad, will you get me a number on that cutting board? Or Holly, I don't know if she's still in here. I have the catalog here, but I don't know where it's at in the catalog.
All right. Perfect fit.
We switch to that, just camera one there.
What kind of cutting board do you want?
Just a poly cutting board. What sizes do we sell the poly cutting board in?
Looks like 8 by 12 and 12 by 12.
8 by 12 and 12 by 12?
I know if you specifically want a 2 foot by 4 foot piece, I think they'll
I think we have a number for it. If you call in and ask about it, just ask for poly cutting board and they will get you in the right place. I'm trying to find it here in the catalog. What do you think about fits in there nice? Would you put it in there wet like that and leave it, or would you wrap it up in something?
Before this is all said and done, I'm going to take this gun out and wipe it down. Although this gun has been in the shed for a while. David brought this into me and he said, sorry, it's been in the shed for a while. And it's got some rust on it. Yeah. But if you leave it in a wet scabbard like that, it's going to develop more rust.
Mm-hmm. What size do you want,
like a 2 by 4?
Yeah.
What's that size 2 by 4? What's the number on that?
309-346-I.
Oh, not the I. 309-346. 309-346. Just ask for polyboard if you call in and ask what sizes of polyboard we have. We'll check on that and see if I can't get them all on the website as they should be. When you got 10,000 plus items on the website, some of it gets lost in the shuffle. We try pretty hard to keep it up there pretty well.
Okay, you guys, for these straps, I'm using a piece of 3/4 inch Latigo strap. This is heavyweight, probably a 10, 11 ounce Latigo. You can use a bit lighter if you want to. I wouldn't go too light. But I've got one strap cut at about 40 inches, the other one at about 32 inches. And I just pointed one end and I rounded the other end. I skived the buckle end down just a bit.
I was almost to it. Page 218. Almost there. I used the handy-dandy index in the back, and I got premium poly cutting boards. All right, let's switch to that overhead, and I'll show you where it's at. Look how bright that is. There you go. Look at that. The 2x4 still isn't on there. Oh, there it is. 12 it's the first one. 12 inches by 24. Hopefully that works out for you.
All right.
Oh.
Now I've just got a center bar buckle, a 3/4 inch center bar buckle. You can use the buckle of your choice. And I'm cutting a hole in it. This is probably a 5/32 or an 1/8 inch hole. It really doesn't matter.
What kind of
just something big enough to get a rivet through.
What kind of rivets you going to be using?
I'm going to use, and I haven't used these on camera yet.
Oh, good.
But I used to use these exclusively. These are tubular rivets.
The back Charles Abbott says the back of shearling also works great for burnishing too.
I've never tried that. I'll try it.
You can see the snow is melting outside. It's puddled up on top of our skylight up there.
Yeah.
Is it wise to line the scabbard with wool?
No. Wool will retain moisture. This is my opinion. No. All right.
Dean says, do you sell rust so we can pre-rust our guns? So they can
yeah.
follow this to exact specifications of this video?
I got a bag of it.
A tubular rivet?
Yes, this is a tubular rivet. I better punch that hole all the way through.
It might be helpful. Otherwise, you'd just be hammering to beat a drum. Did you see that belt I made the other day? Out of that Italian veg?
The yellow one?
Did I show you when it got done?
No.
I wore it today, so.
That's beautiful, and I cannot find my...
Look at that.
Oh, gorgeous.
So I just put quick shine. Nick, if you can go with that top.
Quick shine, that keeps that black down nice.
I hit it on the buffing wheel, just kind of lightly. Then I use black hardware down here. But I use quick shine, 2 coats of quick shine to hold that wax in place.
I'll be back, folks.
Okay. Did you not bring your...
No, I guess I didn't. I thought sure I did, but I guess I didn't.
Well, I guess we'll just sit and wait until they can't find it over there and then we dig through all the tools over here again. I don't see it up on the table, though. Now, what time is it? Have we been making good time here? Oh, just over an hour. Well, maybe on Wednesday we'll have to cut the next one out and then do that next one all in a different video. That way we can just have them separated. You can visit different links in the pattern itself. Liz wasn't here to keep Denny in line and make sure he had all his tools. Anybody got any big plans for the weekend? Did you run?
Did I run?
Yeah.
You know better than that.
Oh, it just seemed like you went real fast. You're walking at a brisk pace?
At brisk pace, yes.
You got your peening tool.
Yes. And I'm going to use a steel hammer. You all can use a maul or a mallet if you want to.
You can hit 4 on there.
But this is just a regular rivet peener made specifically for tubular rivets. If you see what that does, it kind of stars those rivets over.
There you have it.
And this, as opposed to a double cap rivet, there's no cap here to fall off. But I always take and give it one extra smack there. Makes that star part kind of lay down.
Anchor Down Leather. Mr. Denny, I just want to give you a big thank you for inspiring me to get into using a head knife. It has changed my leather cutting ability forever.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well,
Frank says, I'd like to see you guys make a TC contender or a big pistol chest holster. Do we have a chest holster pattern?
no, we do not. That might be something to think about.
Yeah. Once we get all these updated, maybe we'll have to get one made. I think Zachary has this backwards, though. Zachary says, trying to buy a house big enough for my leather shop. He needs to buy a big enough leather shop to put a house in.
That's right.
Josh has said he's been making a hobo bag with the tassels like we made, or the fringe I think that we did on it. We were talking about that the other day, man. That I can't say that we were excited about the hobo bag when we first started doing it. Then we put the fringe on it. It totally changed the characteristics of that whole bag. Made it look pretty cool. I know you're a big purse guy, Denny.
I am the first guy.
Yeah. You carry a hobo bag?
No, I do
No,
not.
you stopped. Stop carrying that.
Yes. Okay, I forgot something here.
What'd you forget?
This has to go through here first. I make these keepers pretty snug because I hate them to be loose.
What's a good reason to make them snug then if you don't like them to be loose?
Yeah. Okay, wait, I gotta think here. Alright, that's correct.
You mean look at the picture of how you did it before?
Well, you can. Alright. Only one problem. I put it in from the wrong side.
One more time.
One more time.
What setter are you using to set those rivets? It's called the peening tool. Let's see if I can find a number for that one. I'm sure if you type it into the search on our website, type in peening, it'll pull something up. You think anybody in this room got that? Craftsman peening tool. 011-809900. 809900. Used to set tubular rivets.
Alright. Now I've got to punch holes in it. I forgot that too.
The old, oh, we can't see what you're doing, Denny. Oh, now we can. The old eyeball.
Yeah, I'm measuring this.
Yeah, seems to be very exact. When you've done it a time or two, you've done it a time or two, I bet.
Yeah.
My dad always used to say, wherever you're at, there you are.
Yeah, no matter where you go.
Yeah. John, I just don't know if we're getting shipping picked up today. They haven't picked up shipping the past 2 days. Hopefully they'll be here to pick up packages today.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough here.
It's funny. This is the most snow that I remember us having here in a little while.
Yeah, for several years.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now let me see if I can do this again.
Put on our keeper. In through the top side. Down through the bottom. Back. Then through the keeper.
Now just realize this, you guys. These loops here in the scabbard itself aren't to hang this from. They're just for the straps to run through.
Yeah, you're going to be hanging it from this part from your saddle.
Yes.
Then put on another keeper on your tail end.
Yep.
There you're heading right. Back through it again to make yourself a little loopy loop.
And punch some holes.
Punch the holes in there. Raven's Hammer says, all right, place my order. I love my head knife too. Hopefully before long we'll have these Ivan head knives in here.
Yeah, you guys will enjoy these Ivans. They're nice. They got really nice weight to them. That's one of the things that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm. I picked up a couple sides of Herman Oak Economy Plus in 9 to 10 ounce. Can I bring it back and have you thin it up? You know where we're at.
Come right ahead.
I can always take leather off, but I can't put it back on. I guess I can glue it back on, but you might not like that.
All right.
There you have it.
Cool. Now, when that dries, I'll oil it too. You know, give it some color. But
so this is where we're going to hang it from on our saddle.
Right. It'll hang off the right side of your saddle. Well, yeah. If I put it this way, it'll hang off the right side of your saddle. But yeah, this will be towards the front, and this will be towards the back, and this will be towards the front. It'll hang off the front rigging ring. This will hang off the back rigging ring.
So your gun is facing.
The gun will be facing backwards.
Yeah.
Because you don't want it when it's facing forward. It's in the old horse's way. He can't turn. You know. Of course, a lot of times you'll see them. They'll have them up like this in front of them, but. If you ever tried to ride with them like that, you'd know why that.
You could use it and hang it off your left side as well. The problem is you get on and off on your left side normally.
Yeah.
Well, we may have to tackle a chest holster here as well. We'll have to get one made, and then we'll see about making a pattern for it.
Yeah.
That's what we have for this one. Which one did we call this one?
This is the regular rifle scabbard. Not the scope. Yeah, the standard rifle scabbard.
Standard rifle
this
scabbard.
This is the short one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you could, if you have the bolt action one, it'll have a.
It'll be It's a longer.
It's a longer one. There's also a little slot here that folds over to hold your bolt. Your bolt.
There's a
up.
slot that the bolt fits in, then with the keeper strap across the inside of the bolt.
Yeah. Nice. And then you could have done things differently. We could have tooled on it, but.
Sure. And like we said, the pattern package has a tooling pattern for this.
Yeah, they do, and you can use, like I said, you can use the carve rights to lay out a pattern for yourself using the elements that you have on there. So we got a pile of tools. Hopefully, we answered all your questions along through here. We'll tackle the other one on next Wednesday.
And I might have a little bit of that done because it's a little more involved. There's some hand stitching involved, and
yeah. We're going to do the scoped one, right?
Yeah, the one for a scoped rifle.
Let's see. Do I have an item number on this pattern pack? I don't see that I have one.
Yeah, this one. I've had this. I think this was one of the originals she gave me.
All right. Not that I haven't looked up everything else in the catalog. We might as well look this up. Let's see. There we go. Scabbard and cases. 144-10006. $20 retail for, it actually includes 4 patterns in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the standard.
There are four.
Because there's the one that we made, and then the longer bolt action one. So there you go. $20 retail, $16 wholesale, and you're going to get some tooling patterns. I guess you could use the tooling patterns for something else. You just lay the elements over a different product or project. So, but we'll switch us back to the front camera there, Nick. Tired of looking at the table. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We had a good week with you. It was cold here, so thanks for helping us get through this week. Denny, I think we'll have you back on Wednesday, and then I'm not really sure what we're doing on Friday. Oh, I do remember. If we don't make it through the one that you have, then we'll do that. If not, I think we have Clayton doing the beer caddy, the 6-pack holder or whatever you call it. But
I've got a feeling the next one might be a 2-session deal.
Next week might be taken up with all of Denny. Are you going to tool on it?
No.
Bummer.
I don't think.
Are we going to give these away, or is that one going to the gun owner that you just made?
No, this one, no. I don't know what we're going to do with it.
Okay, I guess we'll find out later. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. See ya.
Bye.